and I'm here with Jonny Cope. Hello, Jonny.
Hello.
Councillor, actually. I should say councillor.
Yeah, getting used to that at the moment.
So what ward are you a councillor of?
So I represent St Paul's ward, which is sort of East Camberley, east of the town centre.
Okay, and you were newly elected.
Newly elected in May, so still working out what it's all about. But,
and you are one of the few Conservative councillors. We're not going to get too much into politics.
One of the designated survivors.
Yeah. So, first of all, why? Why did you want to become a councillor?
So, I mean, I've always been interested in politics, always been very involved in my local community, been involved in residents' associations, etc. And when I look at local authorities, not just in Surrey Heath, I often see that the representatives tend to be mainly retired people, mainly people at an older stage of life. And I think it's so important that young people and young families are represented on councils because they may have a very different perspective to maybe those of an older generation.
Funny you say that, because the Conservatives, okay, you have got some young councillors, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, people may not imagine that when they hear the words Conservative Party, but I think, 3 of our 6 councillors are certainly under the age of 35, which I think is great, and I think it really provides a fresh perspective. And
they all have the same ethos. Basically, they want to have younger people represented on the council, which is absolutely great.
Yeah, and I think it's so important, and I would argue that I don't think it's an accident that we're the 3 of us are the ones that actually won, because I think people want to see younger people on the council. They want to see that fresh perspective. They want to see that youth and dynamism, and I hope we can deliver it over the next 4 years.
Okay, let's go back a bit. Let's go back about
Sure.
you. Okay, so did you always want to be a councillor? Was that your thing because what do you do for a living?
I'm a solicitor. I work in commercial property.
Okay, so you're partly there already, aren't you? So and your company were very supportive of you doing this role?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're incredibly supportive, and I think for me personally, it's part of a personal development. Going forwards, looking at myself, trying to improve where I can, and opening myself out to new experiences. And this is a new experience. It's scary sometimes. It's difficult sometimes, but I think it makes you a more well-rounded person, and I think that benefits everyone, your employer and yourself.
Okay, and so you went to university. What school? Have you always lived around here?
No. So I grew up in Croydon.
Okay.
I moved down to Surrey about 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, right, okay. So, and university, what university did you go to?
I went to Warwick University.
Warwick University. Fantastic university.
I love my time there. Yeah, it was quite a while ago now, but I did enjoy it.
and you're married as well?
I am married, yes. Got married 2 years ago.
And he informs me that the wife is very supportive as well.
Yeah, she's very supportive. I think she's not someone who's particularly interested in politics, but I think she's always willing to back me and support me, and thinks I'm someone who's in this for the right reasons and trying to do a bit of good.
Okay, so you were elected.
I was.
You said your name was read out with the amount of voters, and the next day you suddenly had an inbox which is filling up quite rapidly with requests for help. And,
yes.
And can you do this and can you do? But obviously with council, you were taking over things from your last predecessor. So what's the thing you hit first?
Yeah. I mean, it may sound bizarre, and it's something I've had to learn a lot about, but there's a big issue in my ward around trees, which are protected by tree preservation orders, and them causing a nuisance to people's homes, particularly in an estate called Wellington Park in my ward. It's a big issue, and I'm trying to work with councillors, council officers and councillors on all sides to try and see how we might improve that situation and ensure those trees are better maintained, because I don't know how much you know about it, but when a tree is under a tree preservation order, there are very limited works that you can carry out to it, and it's causing real difficulty to some homeowners in my ward. They
are, because basically when a builder is granted permission to build on land, he has to, or they or she has to, or the company has to plant so many trees. Now, after a while, that tree starts off as a little sapling, and it looks great for about 10 years. But then after a while, it starts to get a bit raggedy, and then people have got to maintain it.
Yeah, I think this is the thing, and I think most people love trees because they can be beautiful and they're a great amenity in our community. And in Surrey Heath, we got a lot of them.
Yeah.
But it's so important that they are maintained properly, because, as you say, when they're planted, they can look great. 10 years' time, they can look great. But when it starts to get 30, 35 years, they start to get a bit bedraggled, or the branches are growing in strange directions, or the branches are falling off in some occasions, which is a big issue for people.
And of course the other issue is pavements as well. The roots go under the pavement, They raise the pavements up.
Yeah, not just pavements, people's fences, they grow into people's gardens, affect their decking and all sorts. So, as I say, not something I necessarily thought would be the thing occupying all my time as a councillor, but I think that's the great thing about the role. It's fluid. You get a variety of things.
Okay, but what about you? What does Jonny want to achieve in your 4 years, which sounds like a lot, but it's not actually a lot of time,
I don't think it is a lot, because I think, as I say, I'm still learning about what you can achieve in the role, and I think that I'm still going to be learning for probably a year or two, and probably beyond that. For me, as I've already talked about, I think it's important to represent young people, young families, give them a voice on the council. That's something I feel very passionate about. But I also think, looking at Camberley Town Centre, it's going through a bit of a change at the moment, as most town centres are, as we see sort of retail change to more of an online presence, and therefore there needs to be less retail space in a town centre. But I think it's a great opportunity, and something I really want to get behind and look at is creating that varied offer in Camberley Town Centre, where people want to come, they want to socialise, they want to drink, they want to spend their time here in Camberley rather than going elsewhere. And I think we've got a real opportunity to create that, and I think we're already seeing some new businesses coming in recent months.
Which is great. I mean, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's getting growth into Camberley.
Absolutely.
I mean, here we are in the lovely login, which is always very, very busy.
Great place.
So people from here, they go out, they have something to eat, or they eat in.
Yeah.
Obviously there are restaurants around here. But I remember as a kid, you'd come into Camberley, you'd come in about 11 o'clock, you'd do a little bit of shopping, then the parents would take you out for lunch, which would be in Camberley, and then you'd do a bit more in the afternoon. It would be like a day thing.
Yeah. I think we need to get back to that, although it will be different, because I remember as a child in Croydon being dragged around by my mother around some shops, which I wasn't massively keen on, if I'm honest. But that sort of idea of going to Debenhams for a couple of hours and then going into Marks Spencer for a couple of hours, I'm not sure that's ever going to come back.
No, I don't think it will.
So I think you need a different offering. You need a place where people have things to do, activities to try, and just create sort of a vibrant hub. And I really hope that all councils can work together and try and deliver that.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that me and my lovely wife, we've done in the past, actually, and we're going to carry on doing it. We go to the cinema on a Saturday afternoon.
Ooh.
I know. It's just bizarre, Why not? It's open. Let's go on Sunday. You don't have to go in the evening, do you?
Well, I think that's very topical, because obviously cinema is making a big comeback at the moment with Barbie and Oppenheimer, and I think people are getting more into the idea of going to the cinema. I think we've got a great view here in Camberley. Me and my wife often go there, and we're planned in to see Barbie next week, and I'm hoping to persuade her to see Oppenheimer as well.
Well, to be honest, for me it has to be, of course, Barbie.
Of course.
I've been told that if you wear pink or you dress up like Ken or Barbie, you get in to go free. I don't think that's actually a thing, but I might try that.
You can try it. You can tell me, and I'll give it a go if it works.
I haven't got the hair for Ken, though. That's the only problem. But thank you very much, Jonny, for that. It's been absolutely fantastic, and we will catch up in a few months' time.
Yes, I hope so. Thank you so much for inviting me in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Hi everyone, Supergirl here, and I am a super fan of SMJ Media Group. They provide support for local businesses, charities and events, and of course create fun content for all of you. If you enjoy our content and would like to help support us, please go to buymeacoffee.com/SMJ Media Group and buy us a coffee.